Okay, sorry about that. One of the dogs threw the camera down. Jesus, they're really get into everything. Okay, my name is Paloma, which means dove in Spanish. That is my real name. It's not a nickname. I know that there are many Palomas that have other names and they just use that name as a nickname. But yeah, my father named me Paloma. Basically because I have a cousin named Alondra that means lark in English. So they wanted birds. We're not the only two birds of the family. I also have a niece and a nephew. But their names are in Aztec, which is Tiwi, which means mockingbird or hummingbird, and Cuautli, which means little eagle. So, okay, who am I? I'm an activist. I've always worked with dogs my whole life. My first rescue, I was about 13, but before that, we always had dogs. My mom used to breed Bassets and Great Danes, and before that, she used to breed Cocker Spaniels and stuff like that. It was another era when dog breeds were a different thing, okay? Right now, nowadays, we have a huge worldwide problem, but especially in Mexico. In Mexico, dogs are we're overwhelmed with the dog problem. People are abandoning constantly every day hundreds of dogs, and the mini pack was created to let people know about this problem. And so basically, how it started is I had moved to the state where I'm living in. It's in the middle of the country. I had never seen, let's just say, put it this way. After 30 odd years of rescuing dogs, here my first case that I took when I decided to make the mini pack and the videos of the mini pack was Papi and Rosita. They were a pair of Chihuahuas. They came with two other, uh, not puppies, they were old enough to reproduce, Haiti and Clarita. And anyway, the problem there was that Papi had only one eye. Um, his the slit had been closed. His eye had been extracted. And believe you me, after 30 something years, that was the first dog I had rescued that had only, that was missing a piece of its body that had been mutilated. So things have gotten worse here. I actually have a dog that has a mutilated forepaw. And yeah, so here in Aguascalientes, that's where I am, things are very difficult. And I started at first, just observing the dog rescue pages, which are completely useless to my way of thinking, because if you want to look for a dog in the dog pages, you have to go back like for hours, and you haven't even passed one day. So because there are thousands and thousands of people posting in those pages, so the information just gets lost. So like when I find a dog, I try to find it in the pages, but the publications are just buried within each other. So why do I call it the mini pack? Originally, they were supposed to be little sized dogs, like minis, like Acacia here. Okay, Acacia is what I consider a mini. The only dog that I have that is smaller than Acacia is Manzanita. Come here, Manzanita. She just arrived into the bedroom. Come here, baby. She's one of my oldest dogs. She's the oldest because Dojo is actually older than she is. But look at the size difference. Okay. Oh, okay. They don't like each other. She she loves her, but Manzanita just hates everybody. She's a grumpy old woman. Aren't you? Yeah, you are. Okay. So this is my smallest size dog, and she's the only one that size. Everybody else is about acacia size. But then I started seeing that there were lots of terriers being abandoned. So I started with Chihuahua, which, fun fact, I never liked Chihuahuas. Very, very fun fact. They don't like me. They shake, but my Chihuahuas don't shake. She's not a Chihuahua. She's actually a miniature fox terrier. And shout out to my friend Debbie. She said that Acacia has a dog paw print on her ear, and she calls her wee friend since Debbie's from Ireland. So shout out to Debbie. Hi Debbie, I'm your wee friend. Okay, so anyway, I started out with very small dogs. Then I started seeing a lot of terrier breeds getting abandoned, and Bijons, with their hair all matted and all, oh god, I just felt so sorry for terriers and for Bichon that I just had to specialize in them. So I started reading up about their needs, how these animals the breeds were created, and what their needs are, and their qualities or illnesses and all that stuff. So I started special terriers. So every once in a while, somebody in the dog pages would bring out a terrier that they wanted to, that they had found, or that was in the streets in a bad condition, or that was very ill or something. So those were the dogs that started forming the mini pack, basically. The dogs that nobody wanted to adopt. Because let me explain something to you. When one of these small dogs appears in those pages, there are not one or two people wanting to adopt them. There are hundreds of them. But all these dogs that I have, nobody wanted them. Because, for example, Acacia was very skinny. She was very, very angry. She would bite, snap. She was really bad off. She was in pain. She got over it. She's one of my most loving dogs right now. Loves being on camera. And for example, this guy here, he's a Bichon. As you can see, this is the guy I was talking about. That's missing a leg. The front of his paw is missing. He doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. He's a Havanese Bichon, and his name is Ava. The males I have a tradition since when I started the mini pack. I had two dogs that had been with me for like over 10 years, and the female, and so that's a flower, and the male was Toto, so it was a 4-letter name. And so I decided that all my males would have 4 letters in their names, and all the females would have a flower or a plant in their names. So that's why the names of the, stop, you're hitting my head, Abba. So Abba is from Havanese, Maltese. So that's why his name is Abba. Stop. He is so loving. When he arrived, he was like half the size, and he's gotten so fat. His hair is getting so shaggy. He didn't have any hair at all. I mean, he didn't have mange. It was just very, very short. I mean, but he didn't look shaggy at all. Right, he's getting there. He's a cute guy. And so basically, like this one is called Manzanita, which is little apple, because in Mexico we call this type of Chihuahua applehead Chihuahua. So her name is Manzanita. And then the others are like Rosita was the first one that arrived. That's little Rose. And stuff like that. I don't know the names in English of most of the flowers, so I just named them in Spanish. Um, so basically, I have 53 dogs at the moment. They were not supposed to be so many. They were supposed to be only 36 dogs. Why 36 and not 30? My magic number is the 9, and I wanted a number that, when you add two numbers together, it ends up being 9. I stopped. I just had recently a fight with the refuge that I used to work for, and I was the dog trainer. I was taking care of some of the dogs here at the house, and we had a situation with one of the employees, and the person of the refuge and just decided to take all her dogs back. And not only that, she tried to take some of my dogs along, because I have been adopting from this refuge for about 2 years now. That every time that there was that a terrier arrived, or a small dog like this one that had to stay in small cages, I would immediately adopt and bring over to the house. So basically, I have been giving some dogs up for adoption also. Like, there were 2 other Chihuahuas and a toy terrier that recently people wanted small dogs, so I did give some of the dogs up. But right now, I decided to just go back to my channel. That's the reason I have not posted in so long. Uh, there were almost 100 dogs here at the house. It was tough. I mean, it was all the time cleaning up. The dogs would be fighting, because most of those dogs were females that had lived in the street their whole lives. They had no education. I was trying to educate them. I've talked about this in past videos in Spanish. It's easy when it's one at a time, because dogs tend to learn even in an advanced stage, but not when you put like 20 street dogs together, and all they want to do is just claim territory and fight all the time. So it was pretty unnerving, and because of the amount of dogs that the refuge kept on bringing in, I started opening space for them here, because the refuge is not that big. And when she took them back, I just got really upset, because I know that those dogs do not have enough space. They do not have the training. So I just decided to concentrate on my dogs, but I did keep over 20 more than I was planning to actually adopt. Why? Because I felt sorry for them. Yeah. And they are dogs that see me as their human, because they've been with me most of the time. They have barely been at the refuge. So I decided to just keep them, basically. Okay. So, any questions? Let's see, who's there? Cristina Pereira says hi in Spanish. Okay. So, the dogs are Choco, Güero, Tojo, Rayo, Peru, and Guagua. Those are the ones that have short hair, and they're the males. The males that have like wire hair or thick hair are Brew, Kern, Sammy, Parsi, Dutch, Glenn, Patty, and Chispa. Chispa is the only one that doesn't have a 4-letter name on his, but he's different. He was trained by somebody else that left, and I don't want to change, because he's a dog that's very good at guarding. And if somebody should walk into my place, he will make all 50 dogs attack that person. He doesn't like strangers coming in. So basically, I just keep the name. Long hairs, I have Jack, Java, Seal, Snow, Bland, and Euro. And curly hairs, I just have Fritz. Now, those are 21 males, And the 32 females, I'm just gonna say their names really fast. Short hairs are Manzanita, Rosita, Acacia, Lili, Pugi, Anaí, Malva, Dalia, Hortensia, Sara, and Pimienta. The wire hairs are Mora, Mimosa, Avena, Camellia, Violeta, and Witty. And the long hairs are Azalea, Margarita, Azucena, Peonia, Gardenia, Geranio. I'm reading, of course. Begonia, Gerbera, Cotton, Melissa, Canela, Galsang, Lavanda, and Petunia. Petunia is the largest dog I have. That is a giant schnauzer. I'm just gonna tell my Spanish-speaking friends that this is a video in only English. Amigos de la mini manada, este es un video especial para nuestros amigos de habla inglesa y lo estoy haciendo porque es como un sumario de todos los últimos videos. Entonces, sí, solo está en inglés, okay? Because I'm seeing a lot of people popping in and out, and I'm telling them that this is basically a summary in English of what all the other videos that I've made where I'm just talking are in Spanish. Okay, so let's see. Why we exist. We exist because somebody has to tell the story of the survivors. When a dog in Mexico turns into a victim of the society and is abandoned, a lot of my friends, like in England and other countries, ask me where these dogs are coming from. There is an explanation in Mexico. If you like rent a house for over 2 years or 5 years, you can start filing for the papers of the property. So people don't like to rent their houses for too long. So they kick people out of their houses. And right now we do not have a law in most of the country. It is installed in Mexico City, so we're just waiting in the rest of the country for it to spread out. A law in which they cannot deny you to keep your pet with you when you rent a new home. So most of the ads, like for rental houses, say no pets, no kids, and they are places with gardens and stuff like that where you could have a pet, but because the law is not installed in the rest of Mexico, especially here in Aguascalientes, people, when they have to move out of their rental homes, they abandon their dogs. Now, a lot of people abandon their dogs, then they move in without a dog, and then eventually they get a puppy and sneak it in the house. So the problem does not stop. Another problem is that the spading and the castration of dogs here is free for dogs that have a home, but not for dogs that are living out in the streets. So that's ridiculous, actually, and it's stupid. I know that they are sterilizing over 600 dogs a month, but these are pets. They don't sterilize that are like in refuges, or if you like pick up a dog that's living in your street, that's a street dog, and you take it to get sterilized, they will probably do it, but they will get angry. They will tell you you have to deworm her before, you have to do the prep before the sterilization, she's too skinny or she's too fat, or they put a lot of excuses. Who's going to take care of the post-op care and stuff like that, So basically, street dogs just run around. People are making noises around my house, and they're making the dogs bark. They're usually very quiet, but of course, dogs bark if they hear a loud noise. They're building a house across the way behind me, and they're making too much noise. Anyway, so that's the problem. So people just abandon their dogs. They will like post them, see who wants them. Like little ones usually change hands, but if they don't get adopted, they usually throw them out into the streets. And little dogs, or dogs that are like pure breed, they don't know how to survive out in the streets. They've been with humans all their life. So they're not streetwise. They don't know where to get food. They're they've been with a human, so they don't like to attach themselves to other humans. Are not socialized, and that's when they start losing weight. Extremely, they look unhealthy, and people don't like to pick up unhealthy dogs because first they don't want to pay the vet expenses, or they don't know how to get the dogs healthy, and second, well, they're not pretty when they're sick. So basically, that's how my pack was formed. Little dogs, some bigger ones, with horrible survival stories. And when they got here, they were really bad off. Right now, thank God, most of them are healthy. I do have three, no, yeah, three dogs that are not healthy. I'm, no, four actually. Four dogs that are not healthy. They're skin and bones, but they have just arrived. Okay, maybe they had been rescued before, but they were in the shelter, and something went wrong, and they got really sick, or they stopped eating meat, maybe because other dogs were doing bullying or stuff like that, and they lost their health, and I brought them in. So I'm helping them. I did stay with 54 dogs. Sadly, one of those dogs that were not healthy passed away. So now they are 53 dogs. I will not replace her because my original number was 36. So I will not replace her to stay at 54. I'm just going to let nature take its course. And about 20 of my dogs are elderly. So some of them will just, you know, their lives will finish. They will be happy. They will have a family till the end of their lives. They will be stable, but I will not. And by the time that they go, the younger ones will be older by then. So that will be the end of the mini pack. In a couple of years, maybe 5 years, maybe 6 years, if everything goes all right. Um, this channel will last till the very last one of them, and hopefully one day we will be able to monetize, and I will be able to make these little guys help all those dogs that are still out in the streets, that are still needing help. And so basically, I would, if I monetized, I would be helping people like me that rescue sick dogs and help them get back into a good condition. I will not be giving any of them up for adoption because the whole point of the mini pack was not for me to be the influencer, but for them to be the influencers. Okay, so I'm just their voice, but these dogs are the reason, the representatives of their stories, of the stories of every single dog out there. Okay, so that's what my channel is about. I thank you very much for joining me in this English video. Please support and watch the videos, even if they're in Spanish. You can. I know that some of my videos get subtitled, and I know that the translations are awful, but try to get the gist of it. Most of my viewers are Spanish speaking, uh, but I make at least one English video a week to make a summary of all the other videos that I've done, you know, a speaking video like this one. And well, the stories of the dogs, I'll try to figure out a way so that you guys can see what their story was about and stuff like that. Okay, maybe put the explanation in Spanish, you know, or and write something in English so you get the gist of what the story of the dog is about. Okay, so thank you very much for joining my channel. For any We finally, after a year of not posting that much and of working very hard with the refuge and all the dogs and stuff like that, I finally reached 2,000, over 2,000 people. Let's keep making this dream real for all the victims of the Mexican society, and hopefully this will spread all over the world. It's a channel where I prove that there is life after abuse, abandonment, and maltreatment. I prove that these little guys can love again. Okay, so thank you very much. And I always end my Spanish videos with a blessing. I say, I wish you all love, health, prosperity, and well, that you have at least one of these little guys in your life, so you know what we're talking about. Bye. Ay, Selena Ortiz.